Hello everyone, welcome to youtube.com/noblewoos. Today I'm back with another commentary video, and I'm going to be talking about the decline of scamming on Woozworld, especially over the last year or two. This video was yet another request. Thank you so much for the amazing video idea. But before we start, I would love to thank 𝔼𝕞𝕒𝕝𝕕 and Rain for supporting my channel. Scamming, unfortunately, used to be part of everyday Woozworld. It was super common. It happened every day. In fact, my channel kind of used to be based off of exposing scammers on the game. I have countless videos doing that. But I had to basically retire those kinds of videos, because when I came back from my year-long hiatus from being off the game and YouTube, I tried my best to look for any recent scammers I could make a video about. I was looking on Instagram, on Discord, on Facebook, and none of them were recent. The most recent ones I had found were from like 6 to 8 months ago, but it was too late to make a video about them at that point. And that's when I realized, during my year away from the game, scamming basically became non-existent on the game, which is a good thing. But I thought, why did that happen? That's so weird. It feels like it was so sudden. In this video, I'm gonna break down why, from community awareness to the staff getting more involved, older players and easier to get items and currency, and scamming becoming less profitable overall. Let's get into it. Posting scammers has always been a thing. But when scammers start using the same platforms to scam people, it can become a little difficult for them. Especially in the last couple of years when Woozworld servers have started to become a thing. And most, if not all of these servers have awareness channels, where you post scammers. And Discord has also become one of the more popular platforms outside of Woozworld for the Woozworld community. So, if scammers are going to be using Discord to scam over and over again, obviously, they are going to become a known scammer in these Woozworld Discord servers, and they're going to be posted in these scamming awareness channels, which is going to make it so hard for them to successfully scam people. And a lot of these servers that have these awareness channels usually will also have a verified or trusted channel as well. That is where the people that don't scam and are trusted are posted. And that makes it harder for them to scam as well, because obviously people in these servers are going to want to deal and trust people that are being posted in those channels rather than some random person that has not been posted as a trusted person. Victims of scammers on Woozworld share screenshots and usernames immediately in these Discord servers, which makes it far harder for scammers to successfully scam people. Another thing is, the Woozworld team themselves have gotten a lot more active and visible in the community, making it a very big risk. Especially with the new 16+ experience on Woozworld, that allows the staff to personally communicate with players outside of Woozworld, like in Woozworld Discord servers. That means people can directly go to Woozworld staff about a scammer if they were scammed, or if they witnessed a scam. And the Woozworld team could take action immediately and ban or suspend the scammer. Again, making scamming extremely risky for scammers. Something else that has definitely contributed to the downfall of scamming is that time changes communities. I mean, Woozworld has been around for over a decade, and as we all know, and as I mentioned earlier, the devs have recently leaned into that evolution. They have allowed a new 16+ experience because they're aware that all of the players are growing up, which also means they're getting more mature and less gullible. Older players are generally less likely to fall for obvious tricks, and they also probably know all of the tricks because scamming has been around since the game was created. Many of the players are now in their late teens or early 20s. They're not 8, 9, 10 years old anymore. No one's gonna fall for some, hey, can you let me log on your account so I can give you VIP for free? The older players have traded for years. They have seen all of the scams, all of the tricks. They better understand the value of items, and they know how to play it safe for the most part. That alone reduces the number of scamming, because inexperienced players have always been the biggest targets along with young players, which there aren't very many on the game anymore. And the ones that are on the game are impossible to be scammed because they have extremely limited chat. And not only are these older players less likely to be scammed because they're not as gullible, but they have less reason to. I feel like people don't really talk about this, but it's a huge factor. Most long-time and older players now have jobs, an income and the ability to buy woos or beaks or items legitimately by themselves. When players were kids, scamming was just a shortcut to getting rare items for free. But now players can just buy an item, or wait for releases, or, just pay a few dollars instead of risking their whole account and reputation, which takes a lot more work anyway. As players get older, the motivation to scam will naturally kind of go away, because you kind of start to realize that it's stupid and it's not worth it. And they probably also know that everybody else on this game is also older and will less likely be able to fall for their scams. Something else that I want to mention is the game developers have also changed a few things in the game that were used to scam people very often. And I'm specifically thinking about how they changed the max price you can put items for in shop pods and marketplace. They changed it from 1 million to 2 million, which is a big change, and it's really helpful because it's very hard to find an item that's worth more than 2 million beaks. There was a very common scam where people would have an item that was worth over 1 million. For example, let's say they had an item that was worth 1.5 million. The scammer would have the person buy a cheap item for 1 million beaks, and then tell them that they could buy the actual item itself for the rest of the beaks, which would be 500,000. Or maybe to make it more believable or more doable, they would instead tell the person that they could buy the cheap item for 500,000 beaks, and then buy the actual item for the million beaks, and only make 500,000 beaks profit. But now they can't do that because there's no reason to, because the max amount you can put an item for is 2 million, and there's not really that many items that are worth more than that. Which brings me to the fact that items and beaks are easier to get, so there's less to gain from scamming. These things simply aren't as hard to get as they used to be, so there's not really any point in putting in all the effort to scam. Many formerly rare items have been re-released or rotated back in the game through the shops. We now have all kinds of different tokens and coins that can get items for you. The gap between rich and poor players is much smaller now compared to how it used to be. A lot of items could hold unbelievable value, and those kinds of items made scamming profitable. But today, most items can just be purchased, re-obtained, or gotten through crafting or grabs. When items lose their value, scammers also lose their main incentive. Woozworld has added all kinds of new systems and reward systems throughout the past couple of years. I went around Woozworld and I asked random woozens their thoughts and opinions on this topic, and I'm going to read the responses to you guys. Lucha said, scamming in-game is hard, but there are definitely still scammers outside of the game. It's known that people still use real money to sell in-game items or currency. Trap Brat said, I think some people stopped scamming because if they tried to do that, their account would get banned. Pumpkin Angel said, probably because we're all older and don't have time for that, lol. Kai Rezi said, I mean, there's literally no point of scamming anymore, no? Like, most of the items here on Woozworld nowadays can literally be obtained by anyone easy peasy. What I'm saying is, items nowadays don't have that wow effect anymore, you get me? The only reason why there were so many scammers before is because they could either make money off it or just use it to flex. But today, boy, you'll see people selling those items way lower than their original price in the market. And if we're talking about like real money scamming to get this item real cheap kind of thing, I mean really, you'll scam someone for like 5 USD, that's just pathetic in my opinion. Besides, making money in this game is so easy now. Investment said, probably because the community as a whole have aged and matured. Things are more easily obtainable, like currency, and probably most likely due to the Woozworld discords. Perhaps there's not less scammers, and just less people who put themselves in low-risk situations to get scammed. Her Kiffy said, honestly, I think scamming declined so much more since nothing in the game stays rare anymore. Like, someone can scam, but chances are the item will be in the shop a month later, so that eliminates the risk. And also, people mostly get on the game to socialize now, so beaks in itself is not as sought after. Deja said, I feel like as a returning woozen, the best answer to that would be that the community has matured. Especially with the older fan base Woozworld has, there's not much of a reason to scam anymore. Wooz is pretty obtainable, a lot of older people have jobs, the community is pretty giving. Nonetheless, there's no reason to really scam other than ruining your reputation. Lemon Lol said, my thoughts are, I feel like people get used to scammers, especially the older set of players. I'm an old player for about 6 to 7 years now, and I've never once gotten scammed. But nowadays, I feel like most scammers have either quit the game or have gotten reported, and in my opinion, not many people would fall for scams anymore. Amaria Knight said, hopefully it's due to mods and animators cracking down on all of that and finally taking charge over those folks. And before I start to wrap this video up, I do have some things I want to share with you guys and some tips to give you to stay safe. If something happens, use the official reporting tools, and make sure you always join trusted Woozworld Discord servers and only use the trusted or verified Woozens channels. Don't deal with any random person. Don't give out any of your account info, and don't click any suspicious links or download anything suspicious or any Woozworld hacks. Try to take official store purchases or giveaways or rewards than doing third-party trading. Those actions are exactly what's helped reduce scams. And they'll keep you safe. Scams haven't disappeared completely, but the Woozworld community and team have been doing a great job. If you like this video, please let me know, and let me know if you have any thoughts. Give me any safety tips that you have seen work best, or give me any other reasons why you think scamming has declined in the game. That is all I have for today. I hope you guys enjoyed the video, and I hope you guys stay safe. Bye-bye!